Okay, let's learn some word concepts. When we say equal shares, there are two equal shares. So you see that there is a square, and then a line is drawn right in the middle of the square, and so it's now that represents a half. So there's two equal shares, because if you don't have the line there, it would just be one, but with the line drawn between this piece, it represents two equal shares. Okay, half. So again, like this could be drawn in half, but it's two equal shares. This says halves. The circle is divided into halves. So a circle is round, okay, and you divide the circle by putting a line through it, creates a half. Okay, so fourths. So originally we have like a square. We should have like one square to show you one square, but then a line is drawn through it. That gives you two equal shares, two equal pieces of whatever it is, but this is showing in a square. So this one right here, now another line is drawn in the opposite direction, or not in the opposite direction, just drawn here. And then it's divided into fourths. So now you have four pieces. Without these lines, it would make it one piece. With this line drawn here and here, now makes it four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Quarters. The circle is divided into quarters. Another word for fourths. Okay, so originally here we have a circle, like this one is drawn in halves. A half is drawn into a half, and this one is drawn into quarters. So line here makes four pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in relation to a word problem, a whole divided into 4 equal shares is divided into fourths or quarters. When a whole is divided into 2 equal shares, the shares are called halves. The parts of a whole that are the same size are 2 equal shares. When a whole is divided into 2 equal shares, the shares are called halves. And so this one, the 4 equal shares of a whole are called fourths or quarters. Okay, let's talk about shapes. So for a 2D shape or two-dimensional shape, so 2D shapes. So circle is a round, rectangle is longer than a square. So a square, this is a square. The square has 4 equal sides. Triangle, it has 3 sides. Side, so this is a side of this square in this picture. The vertex or vertices, that's plural, this is singular. So when it says the vertex, that's just this point. If it was asking for all of them, it would say vertices. So it will be 1, 2, 3. 3, it has a triangle has 3 vertices, but it's pointing to a vertex. 3D shapes, 3-dimensional shapes, okay? So here we have a cone. So in a 2D shape, we see that that is a circle right here because it's flat. circle. But then when they show a 3D shape, a cone, this is the cone. This is the circle is where it's the bottom of the cone shape here in this picture. And then it shows a point. So that shows a cone. Cylinder, again, a cylinder has a round shape here. If it was a 2D shape, it would be a circle, but it shows the shape in 3D shape, so it's called a cylinder. Again, with a circle is a sphere in a 3D shape. A circle in a 2D shape is just a circle because it's flat, but a sphere is round, like a ball. Cube is the 3D shape of a square. A square has 4 equal sides. Okay, so each of these lines here in a square are equal to each other. So here is a cubed. That is the 3D shape of a square. Okay, so a rectangular prism. So a 2D shape is a rectangle because it's flat. A 3D shape is a rectangular prism. Okay, and this does not have equal sides. The sides are not equal as to a square. A rectangle, so the rectangle and the square, they are not equal. Okay, flat surfaces. So again, like the cone, the flat surface is on the bottom. The cylinder, the flat surface is on the sides. A sphere does not have any flat surfaces because it's round. A cubed, the flat surfaces is all sides of the cubed. And the rectangular prism is all the sides because it's flat surface. Edges, the edges are right here. These are the edges in this picture. These are the edges. So like in a cube, because this is a picture of a cubed, a square, cubed, a square. Okay, so these are the edges. And then for us, as far as also for a rectangular prism, again, rectangle is a flat shaped. A rectangular prism is a 3D shaped. And so these are the edges of that. So in relation to word problems, a square has 4 sides that are equal. Okay, circles and squares. So what's the difference between a circle and a square? A circle is round, a square is not. A square has flat surfaces, a circle does not. Yeah, so let's look at the picture. So here's a picture of a circle, and here's a picture of a square. So they are different. A circle is round, a square is not round. A square has flat surfaces, a circle does not have flat surfaces. So cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres are 3D shaped, in 3 dimensions. Okay, they are not equal though, because cubes are rectangles. No, excuse me. Cubes are squares, and squares are flat, and squares are cubes, which have equal sides to them. A cone, it has a flat surface, and then it's pointed in a cone shape. Cylinders it has 2 flat surfaces, and then it's shaped like this. It's a cylinder. And a sphere is round like a ball. So in that written problem or question. Cones, this is a cone, this is a cylinder, this is a sphere, and this is a cube. A cylinder has two flat surfaces. This is a cylinder, so this surface right here is flat, and then on the other side of this cylinder, the surface is flat. Remember, the surface is this. The point where two sides meet is called a vertex. So here's a side, one side, and then if you drew another arrow on this side, it would be another side. Now, the vertex, this is one side and this is one side, and then where they meet, that is the vertex of the sides of the shape that we're talking about. Okay, so this one right here, a blank is formed when two faces come together. So how I'm thinking, two flat surfaces, like this flat surface is here and this flat surface here. When it comes together, it creates an edge. So like you see this right here, this flat surface and this flat surface, because that's what we're talking about, the flat surface, and it comes together, it becomes the edge. Okay, so here we are with faces, showing the faces. So again, the faces. So the word or the definition of that are called the flat surfaces on a shape that doesn't roll are called faces. So back with this question here, a blank is formed when two faces come together. An edge, okay, an edge. So these faces come to there, these two faces, 1, 2, come together, creates an edge. Okay, a blank is a 3D shape with 6 rectangular faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Okay, so again, let's go back here and let's talk about this rectangle here. In a 2D shape, it has how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? In a 3D shape for a rectangle, it has 1, 2, and then there's 2 behind that you do not see. Then you have another 2, 1 and 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has, in a 3D shape, it has 6 sides. Okay, remember the sides. This is a side to a rectangle. And, okay, so we're talking about a rectangular prism. Okay, so we see that it has 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, how many edges does it have? It has, see, 1, 2, and then on the other side that you can't see, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and then on that side again, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges for a rectangular prism. And then it has 8 vertices. Okay, so remember, for a vertex, this is one vertex. Vertices is plural, so it's like 1, 2, 3 for this triangle here. For the rectangular prism, it has 8 vertices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one you can't see is 8. Okay, here are a couple of word problems. Okay, so like if we were to draw a closed shape with 3 vertices, what would that be? Okay, so one could be this one here, or you could draw again a this here, because a triangle, because it asks for a shape with 3 vertices, and that would be a triangle. So draw a closed shape with 0 straight edges. Well, anything that has a 0 straight edge, let's go back to this here, would be a circle. Okay. Draw a closed shape with more than 3 vertices. Well, anything that would have more than 3 would be a square or a rectangle. Okay, so what I want you to do is draw the difference between a rectangle and a square. Okay, so this one right here says higher order thinking. Look at the shapes in each group. Explain how the shapes are sorted. So in this group right here, how are these shapes sorted? And then how are these shapes sorted? And so this is a new shape. Okay, this is a new shape, but how are they sorted? Okay, so here we have a triangle, we have a circle, we have a rectangle, and then we have a square. So 2-dimensional or 2D shapes are plane shapes. You can define 2D shapes by how they look. Okay, so some 2D shapes have straight sides and some 2D shapes do not. So we have here 3 straight sides, okay? And this has 0 straight sides, and it's a circle. This is a triangle, and this is a circle, okay? So some 2D shapes have corners called vertices, and some 2D shapes do not. So here is a shape that has 3 vertices, 1, 2, and 3, and that is a triangle. Now a circle has 0 vertices because it doesn't have any straight sides. 2D shapes are closed. Their sides are all connected. This is not a triangle. It is not a closed shape with 3 sides. So this right here. And then in the other page, we saw these here. You know, what shapes are these? We know that these are closed sides. So what shapes are these? And then are these shapes? Are these, it says, because in his one it says circle the closed shapes. So you would circle these closed shapes. Okay, so in this question, it says, for each shape, tell how many straight sides or vertices, if it is closed or not. So we know that this is closed, yes, and then how many straight sides? And we know that it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this one, how many vertices? Well, 1, 2. Is it closed? No, it's not. It's opened here. And then this one, how many straight sides? We know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight sides. Is it closed? Yes. Okay, so in this one right here, think of things you can divide into equal shapes with a group of friends. Make a list of 4 things that you might share. So we said cake, we could divide that in 4 equal pieces. Cookies, a donut, and a pie. Okay, so it asks draw one of the items in our list. And so we chose cookies, okay? And so draw a picture of your item divided into halves, and then label the halves, 1 and 2. So we divided the cookie, 1 and 2. Draw a picture of your item divided into quarters. Label the quarters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this question says, which picture shows more shapes? The one with halves or the one with fourths? And it says explain. So we chose number 2, and so it showed fourths. So for that one, this one right here, this is picture 1, and this is picture 2. So this one shows more, so fourths. Okay, so which picture shows larger shapes than the one with halves or the one with fourths? So 1/2 is bigger pieces. I don't know what that means. Okay, so one with halves or the one with fourths? Larger shares, the larger shell. So okay, the one with halves is the larger shares than the one with fourths, because this was originally this was the biggest piece because it was one whole, and then when we cut it in half, we got 2 pieces which became smaller than this whole because we divided it into half. Okay, but then when we divide it again into fourths, that creates a much smaller piece, but in equal shares. Okay, so draw the item you want to share again. So here we go with a circle. This time divide it into halves in 2 different ways. Label the halves 1 and 2. So we got a circle, drawn it in half, and then we labeled it. And divide your item into quarters in a different way. Label each quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. And so then we labeled them here. Okay, so again, it says look at the picture, look at the 2 pictures of your item divided into halves. Does the side of the halves change when you divide them differently? And it's explained. And so we said no, as we look at the picture in halves. And then we say no. And then we say that they're equal pieces, but then there's a larger size. Okay, let's look at this one right here. Look at the 2 pictures of your item divided into quarters. Does the size of the quarters change when you divided them differently? And then explain. And so the question's saying, does the size of the quarters change? And so no, when you divide them differently. No, they don't. It's just equal. They're equal pieces, but just in smaller sizes. And again, this one is equal pieces, is larger slices. So